So then, obviously, you needed some guidance, and it was something that I think a lot of people don't understand what to do, and I think that's why we've set up this because it's
Right.
something that I would have wanted when I was going through it myself
Of
7 years
course.
ago. Um,
Yeah.
right, so you made the call to join us, and you started the healing diet. How was the support? What was our coaching like, and what were the benefits of this ongoing support that we gave you? Like,
So, when I contacted you guys, I remember we had a consult, and I think I consulted with you, and instantly I felt relaxed because I
mm,
was I had a lot of anxiety, and I think that's part of the reason of my disease too, because I'm very anxiety driven, and I'm anxious a lot. At least I was a lot more before. I don't know
mm,
if you remember that,
yeah.
but yeah, but basically talking to you just calmed me down. Like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. And, I remember you gave me the rundown how the program would work and how you will guide us in the process because you discussed a few things that you should, expect. And I didn't know that, right?
Mm.
Because like you were talking about how it's going to get worse. And I understand when you say worse, but I don't know how much worse, right? Because like I remember during the healing process, I was going like from 8 times to like 16 times a day. And then I'm having these severe headaches, which I've never experienced in my whole life, right? And I'm like, if I didn't have guidance, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, that's normal,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's generally what happens when when you go off the meds and you get all these withdrawal symptoms too.
Yeah.
And definitely you don't know what's going on. And through our experience, obviously, with so many clients that we've helped, this is a very common thing that happens.
Right. And I mean, I would have quit if I didn't have that
Mm,
access, right?
mm,
So that access was nice because I remember I would just be like messaging you and I'd be like, hey, dude, I'm feeling this. Is that normal kind of thing? And you would immediately respond, dude, this is totally fine. Stick through it. And I think that constant positive feedback was such an important key because if you've helped people and helped yourself, of course, seen this so many times, it's like a near positive assurance because I was losing hope a lot of
mm, mm.
times because these were bad symptoms and I'm working a lot at the same time. So it was not a good territory to be in. And, always like you guys were positive about it. Like, you and Shakul were making sure that, what, this is part of the process. This happens. Just stick with it another few months and you're out.
Mm.
And constantly I remember surgery came popping in my head. I was like, surgery's not an answer. This is it. I mean, if these guys are saying that, hey, these detox things happen, they must mean that,
Mm.
right? Because obviously these are people who are caring. And I'm watching a lot of these testimonials and I'm seeing similar results, similar symptoms. So I'm like, okay, this is normal then. And that's when, but it's really hard to kind of like, to first talk about it and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna go through that. But when you're experiencing that, you don't want to be in that,
Mm.
right? Because you don't feel good.
No, you don't
It
feel good at all.
sucks. Your life is ending. Like it's not fun, right? And so sorry about that. Yeah. So your life is like ending, right? And it's like this is not the way you want to lead your life. And I think I remember feeling very low. I think that was probably the lowest point of my life, like perhaps because going 16, 17 times a day and like working, and I work like 38 miles away that time. And I used to work 5 days a week, and that was a lot for me that time. Like, I mean, I had no energy to, last 5 days even.
And this and
So,
this is why I think your experience and your journey was just so. I mean, you pushed yourself so hard, and for me to see that, it's amazing to see you come out of it was amazing. But I just want to point out that you did this through working, and
yeah,
that's
I
even
had to push.
harder, to do that without taking leave. I mean, you did you took a week off, I think, in your whole journey. Did you? How many days was it? Or
it was not even a week, bro. Like my job would not allow me that.
Yeah, that's
Like
right. That's
my
right.
job was very shitty at that time, I remember. And I think that's, I know we're going to talk about this later, but about the mental aspect of it, but it was very draining, right? That job was very draining, very like demanding. Like you have to be at the office, like you have clients waiting for you. You have to be there,
And
and
so,
going 16 times a day
and
is
if
not
you had
helping.
the option of staying at home, that would have definitely made it a whole lot easier, right? Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
If you have the option to kind of take a sabbatical, do it. I mean,
Mm.
I was not lucky enough living in Southern California. You kind of have to work to, get you around. But I mean, if you have the ability, oh man, this process would be probably a lot shorter than what it was for me,
Potentially,
and
yeah.
yeah, potentially, right. Because I mean, like I remember, because my journey was so stressful. Like I remember a lot of times I would like I'd work 38 miles away. Along the way, I would have to make a couple of pit stops. I used to call them
It's
to to kind of go do my business, and then go to work, do business, then start within a session, because I would have 1 hour sessions, and literally within an hour I'm sometimes going twice. It was not a good lifestyle, and that's when I started doubting a lot. I remember a lot of these ideas like, oh, I'm going to be one of those people who doesn't get healed. I know a lot of people are healing. It's not gonna happen to me, right? And I remember talking to you about that. Like, I don't know why. I just feel like I'm not gonna get through this.
mm-hmm.
And you kept pushing me. I remember that, and I hold that very closely to me. That you guys were there when I needed it, if that makes sense. And I think that's very important. When you're at rock bottom, you need somebody to push you out of it. And of course, my wife and my parents were there, but at the same time, they don't know what you are going through internally,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
You have that experience, so you can actually feel what I'm feeling, if that makes sense.
And sometimes you may not like what I have to say.
Yeah,
Sometimes you probably don't like, but it has to be said. It has to be said to push you.
it's necessary roughness,
Yeah,
but
right, right. Of course. Yeah,
I mean, it was a tough journey, and
yeah.
I'm glad you guys were there for me. I mean, I mean, I'm grateful.
Let's just backtrack a little bit in terms of what you ate. So you pretty much did the healing diet for quite a while.